Hello everyone, we're so excited to be here, Choco Vivo LA on Washington in Culver City. It's a really exciting topic this week. We are going to talk all things CBD and especially CBD and chocolate. Let's all introduce ourselves. I'm Lisette.
I'm Patricia.
Of course, we know Patricia.
And I'm Alex, a consultant advisor to Choco Vivo.
So I think of Alex like our chief science officer, and so Alex has helped a lot with cannabis and CBD regulation for the state of California. So in the beginning, as some of you guys know, for Choco Vivo, we have a few products here that we sell that have some CBD inside.
Yes, those chocolate milks in that fridge over there.
So we have the chocolate milks, and then we also have the CBD tinctures, where the base is a coconut oil and cacao butter, versus a chocolate milk like this, which is actually 100% cacao that's melted down with CBD. And we can talk about the different components that is in here. I have some CBD in this canister, and then also Alex will probably touch upon the fat inside chocolate, which looks like this yellow stuff. So I think like the first question that we get at Choco Vivo that a lot of customers ask is, what is the benefit of just CBD itself?
Yes.
And what's the benefit of chocolate and CBD?
Mm-hmm. So most people by now know what CBD is. It comes from the hemp plant. It's one of the main ingredients. There's also, people usually forget, there's also THC, which is the stony ingredient that's in hemp as well, but it's opposite of what you find, let's say, in marijuana, where there's a lot of THC and very little CBD. But I think the main takeaway is that we've evolved with this plant for probably thousands, tens of thousands of years. Humans have used cannabis in all of its forms for forever, as far back as we've found cannabis in caves, I guess you could say, China. And the main benefit that we think today, scientifically, is that we have a natural cannabinoid system in our body, and they call it the endo for endogenous, in the body, endocannabinoid system. And it's prolific. It's in our gut, it's in our brain, it's in our other tissues. And therefore, you could say cannabinoids have this very wide-ranging effect. If you narrow it down to CBD, it probably doesn't work as well, by the way, as just CBD as it would with a little bit of other things in it. We can talk about that later. But if you look at CBD, the main active principles or the main applications, indications are inflammation. So if you have sore muscles or you have another condition that's causing some type of swelling in the body, it could even be in your brain or your feet. CBD seems to relieve that swelling and inflammation. Exactly how it works, that's a longer conversation. Like, we have to get back to chocolate, because if you look at CBD, and Patricia's very kindly given us a tool. This is you can show them the lid, the other side.
Is that what CBD looks like?
Yeah, so this is
concentrated.
Exactly. This is this brown, stinky extract stuff.
Stinky.
So can you hold it
smell
up?
anything?
Yeah.
Are you serious, Lisette?
Now I can.
Okay. I was gonna say, you might have a bigger problem.
It took a second.
If you can't smell that, then we have a bigger problem.
You can see it's like sticky. Can you see that?
Yes.
It's really tacky and like glue. You don't want to get it on your fingers because it takes a lot of alcohol to get off. So what you're smelling is there you go.
Like what kind? Tequila?
Yeah, tequila's good. Tequila and CBD and chocolate. I think we have the evening figured out.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you smell it,
that's kind of very beautiful.
It's got a very.
Oh, I can smell. Oh, wow, that's very.
It's got
strong.
a very strong plant.
But
it smells
a little bit piney too.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a.
Yes.
This is a great test. If you have COVID, if you can't smell this, just go somewhere else. Yeah, so it's really.
I can smell it. I promise.
You can tell. It's really beautiful, if you like plant gook. So the problem is, if you put a teeny bit of this on your tongue, you can barely talk, not because you get stoned, but because it's so strong.
So is this the oil, Alex, or how is this being extracted? Are they pressing it out of the plant like cocoa butter, which is this right here?
Right. Yeah, that's a really good question. They extract it in a lot of different ways, and the freshest way to do it is to actually literally take fresh plant and squeeze it out.
So I think an analogy is like cacao. Yeah. If you continue to refine cacao to really silky smooth bars, something like this, then you really lose I think the advantage of why you should eat cacao versus stone grinding it, how we're minimally processing it. You still have some of the nutrients and the fiber that's inside cacao. Another way to think of it is like raw cacao nibs versus like a purely refined chocolate bar, which is going to have something that's less processed, is going to have more of the whole body nutrient density ingredients inside.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it. Whole body,
nutrient dense.
Nutrient dense product, yeah, with all the associated things. We don't even know what some of them are. So, so what you've done really well, Patricia, other than just describe that, is that you've taken something which really is inedible. Like there's no way you could figure out how to digest this or even put it in your mouth.
Really?
Yeah, it's...
You want to try, Lisette?
Oh, no.
No, don't try it.
Yeah, let's talk about the two different forms, a tincture and a chocolate milk. So what do you think? Like this is an oil base, and then this is going to be a chocolate milk base. So what is the difference in terms of how the body's digesting it?
Okay, that's a really good question.
That's why the fat is here, right?
Yeah, that's why the fat's here.
Yeah. Okay, so I think the word tincture is an interesting word. Most people, when they make a tincture, and you see things in little glass jars with little, eyedroppers, right? I don't think that'll come across in the camera, but you can see how clean it is, or yellow it is.
Well, I usually know CBD to come this way.
Right.
Like in a little tincture, yes.
That's right, tincture or maybe a topical and oil. And when people usually make tinctures, they actually use alcohol. And what you did that's so smart, in my opinion, is you took something that was very concentrated, very strong. Instead of using alcohol to make a little tincture, you used coconut oil.
Coconut oil and cacao butter.
And cacao butter.
Interesting. How does alcohol and coconut oil have the same
They don't.
extraction qualities,
They
I
really
guess?
don't.
They
and
don't.
That's the smart part, because if you make a tincture from a concentrate, from this super concentrated tarry stuff that we showed earlier, the CBD extract, if you take alcohol and you dissolve that and you put it in a little bottle, you actually are losing a lot of the product, because you had to use a lot of alcohol to get this to be sort of dissolved.
Yes.
But this is a fat, this is an oil. So if you take an oil and you put it into an oil, it dissolves. It's soluble, it's fat soluble. Your body is looking for fats. The active CBD is a type of a chemical, we call it a terpene, but it's fat soluble, it doesn't like water. So when you eat things that your body's expecting to be fat soluble, they dissolve slower, so it's more time released. You use more of it because it's already a fat, the body doesn't have to chop it up.
But Alex loves these chocolate milks once in a while. So he loves our chocolate milks in general. But Alex, can you go into the explanation of why, for some customers, they prefer the chocolate milks because it seems like it helps to, I know customers that drink it at night. If you've never taken CBD, we always suggest that you drink it at night just so you can see how your body is going to digest this. And then, you have some customers that like the ease and portability of the tincture because you don't need to refrigerate the tinctures. These are more shelf stable because it's an oil base, where this is made out of hazelnut milk and coconut sugar. So these will eventually go bad. So plus also this you can rub on your skin or like your muscles.
Yeah.
Whereas,
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah.
Can you ingest as well as topically apply?
Yes, you can add this into your morning coffee, or you can also just, if you like maybe have a slight sprain somewhere, you can just drop this onto your skin and just rub it in. Versus this, you don't really want to rub this into your skin. We are probably,
depending on the day.
Yeah, depending on the day. We are coming out with some products with the Choco Paloma skincare line, but with this is really to drink. This is a chocolate milk with CBD. So Alex, if you can touch upon, why do you think most customers like this better versus this, because they're thinking that this has a better effect for them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just to repeat what Patricia said, so this has 200, I'm reading it, 220 milligrams of the active ingredient of this stuff in it, the CBD. This one has 85, and then she's got a half-size one, which is 40. And this one sells for $35.
Yeah, something
and this
like
sells for $50. Mm-hmm. So the question is, why does the one that has 3 times more, basically, sell for only like 10% more or something? It does, right? And the answer is because I believe that if you're taking something orally and you can take it in its most normal state, like the state that the body would tend to encounter it, it's going to be more active, even if it has less of the ingredients in it. So for me personally, if I take a little bit of this, and I suggest the same thing, try it at night and try a small amount. Keep it in the refrigerator because it needs to stay cold, because it has a short shelf life, because it's got raw hazelnut milk and raw cacao. It's not pasteurized or anything. So keep it in the fridge. Take like a cap full of it. I mean, I'm going to open it, and that way I get to try it. Not right now, but you know, you pour a little bit in a cap, like a little bit, and then try it at night and see what it does to you.
Okay, so this is you keep it in your fridge and you take a capful.
Yeah, and you try it and see how it works.
So you microdose.
So if I find typically a man at 85 milligrams, a half of the bottle works for them. For women, probably the smaller bottles work. Or if you want to buy this, 1/4 of this is good, because you can start to feel really relaxed. But again, the idea, and really important, is to drink this at night so you can understand how your body is processing the CBD and the chocolate from the fat, the cacao butter that's in here. These chocolate milks with CBD last three weeks. And it's pretty amazing because I think it's the amount of fat that's incorporated in this.
It's preserving it.
Yeah. What's the fat inside here? CBD. You have a little bit of the hazelnut milk, and then chocolate is 40 to 50% natural fat. So you can think of it as drinking a large amount of protein of this, and so that's why it lasts a pretty good amount of time.
The way to find out what your dose is. So my experience is that a small amount of this stuff, for reasons that I don't fully understand and did not expect, is very strong. Whereas
because your body is readily absorbing it.
I think it's the bioavailability.
It recognizes the chocolate.
Yeah.
There's
it says I've been
a lot less oil to go through.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Very good.
Quickly.
Yeah. You are the new official spokesperson.
Because the topic is so interesting.
So it's sort of like the way I would say it is, they've literally found extracts of hemp or cannabis, marijuana, in caves 3,000 years back. So my thinking is, it sees two things. The body sees two things that it has recognized we've used for a long time, and it sees them together, and it says, home run, let's go.
Wow, okay.
That's why I think it works so well, yeah. And then, you know, like Patricia says, a typical woman might want a lot less than a typical man. She might want a quarter, a man might want a half. But there are some men, we have this new friend, he's this tall guy, he's like 6'3" or something, 220, he was a football player. He's this very gregarious guy, and he took one of these the other day, thinking it was the non-CBD ones, and he was pretty giddy.
Really?
Yeah, and he's a big guy. All right, so that's it on my end. And anything else?
No, I think we're good.
I love that. That was
Yeah.
amazing. So much good information.
Yep.
If you guys have any questions, you can always email us at info@chocovivo.com. Thanks so much, guys.